My daily routine has become so much simpler now that I built this chicken tunnel, and the chickens love it too. So let me show you how I made it real quick and how it's working for me. If we haven't met yet, I'm Uncle Joe. Welcome to Uncle Joe's farm. We are here in the beautiful mountains of Western North Carolina, hoping to live a more self-sufficient life. If you find this video helpful, please like it, and I would love it if you would subscribe, and we can keep hanging out and sharing more ideas. All right, let's take a look at this tunnel. So what's the tunnel leading to? We have this cheap construction fencing that we can put up and move around the yard. It keeps the chickens enclosed, and most importantly, it keeps predators out a little bit better than otherwise. And we have recently found out that we have predators. That's a story for another time. So we like to move this around because we have all of this grass area, and all of the areas we've had them enclosed in have gotten the most lush green grass ever. We also have a lot of ants, and they eat the ants, which is lovely, and the chickens love it. Here at the end, there's nothing fancy. It just comes into the fence and ends. We cut a hole at the bottom here and just zip tied it together. I did consider building a frame that it attached to that would come up as high as the fence at the end, which I may do in the future because we are considering getting an electric fence for the chickens to help with our recent predator issues. So that would help if you had an electric fence to put them in, or if you didn't want to cut a hole in whatever you have them fenced in. But the tunnel itself is just 4-foot chicken wire. You could use any kind of wire. If you had supports, you could even probably use this cheap plastic fencing. As far as wire goes, chicken wire is going to be your cheapest bet, and we had a bunch left over, so it was definitely the cheapest bet for us. If you use like a hardware cloth or a more sturdy type of wire fencing, you would definitely not need the supports. I'll break down my exact cost of everything that I bought for this at the end, and how to not accidentally spend way more money than you need to build this. So all we did was bend it over, and at the base we had a couple inches lay flat. I just took landscaping staples and put them down every 5 feet or so. You can see here's one of the landscape staples. You just stick it in here and hammer it down. The first run of this until it starts to curve was actually very easy and stood up by itself very well, even with this just very flimsy chicken wire. However, as we got down to the end, I needed to turn it to go into the run, and that's where things got dicey. So that's when we added these Pex tube. It's just 1/2-inch Pex tube, and we just stuck it down on the bottom, up and over, and zip tied it. You could weave it through, but we have a billion of these tiny zip ties, and what else are you supposed to use these itty bitty zip ties for? Now coming down to the end, I did in a couple places sort of fold over the chicken wire on the inside of the curve to make it a little shorter as it curved in and goes into our door. So all I have to do in the morning, I just come in and open that door up. It closes and locks, and the chickens are locked in for the night. In the morning, I just come in, open it, pull it up, and now the chickens have access to the outside and in their run, and then back in their coop. Everything they could need. As the sun goes down, the chickens just come right back in their little door. They're in their run. They can go back into their coop. All I have to do before bed is come out here, close this little door, and lock it to keep the raccoons out. Little egg thieves. You don't have to be an engineer to build a door. It's not that hard. I barely measured, and I just kind of winged it. I laid it out as I was going. Probably the least efficient way to build a door you could do, but it worked. First, I just built a frame that clamped the hardware cloth between it, so it's on both sides. On the outside, 2 sides were just the door itself. And then I just built the door to fit inside the frame. Obviously used screws that were a little bit too long, but it's not here to be pretty, it's here to be functional. Cheap little hinges from Lowe's and this little lock is all you need. So how much did this cost? Well, I saved my receipts just for you guys. We got 4 new babies today. I am working on a video of how I'm going to integrate the babies with the grown hens. Coming soon. Okay, so costs. How to do this for cheap? That's at least the question I'm always asking. So I spent just under $30 on this whole thing. I did mention that I already had the chicken wire left over from another project, so we'll get into what to do for that. The 30 bucks that I spent was on the 1/2-inch Pex tube to keep a nice arch, the landscaping staples, and the lumber and hardware to build and frame in the little door into my run. So everyone's gonna have slightly different needs, but I'll break it all down so you can know exactly what you're gonna need. So the 1/2-inch Pex pipe, I got it at Lowe's. It's $7.68. For a 20-foot piece, I got 2 of them, puts me at about 15 bucks. The lumber to build the door and frame it in, I got 2 8-foot pieces of 1x2 pressure treated. It was more than I needed, and they were $1.98 a piece, so that puts us at just under $4. And the hardware for the door, a little pack of 2 hinges, $2.78, and the little sliding lock was $4.78. And I did not get the cheapest options. Now last for me was the landscaping staples. Find a local ag supply store and go there to get them. It's a great place to get a lot of these supplies. They're usually cheaper and they're usually local businesses that you can support. I went to my local ag store and got them for 17 cents a piece. I got 30 of them, so it put me at $5. If you go to a big box store, the price is like 4 times as high. That kind of markup hurts my soul. So find a local ag supply store and you can usually find better prices and be supporting a local business. I like to present prices that are at the stores everyone has access to. Everyone can get to a Lowe's or a Home Depot. So I like to show those prices just so you can see what's easy. But find a local ag supply store around you. There probably is one, and they usually have better prices and you can be supporting a local business. But I am going to continue with prices from Lowe's today. So the chicken wire I did not have to buy for this project because I already had it from a previous project. But if you're gonna buy it, you're gonna buy it at Lowe's. And I'm sure Home Depot is probably the same prices. You want to get the 4-foot chicken wire. 3-foot may work, but I got 4-foot and it's great. They can walk completely standing up. At Lowe's, a 50-foot roll of 4-foot chicken wire you can get for $40. For a previous project that I did, I had gotten 150 feet for $100. So it's a lot cheaper by the foot if you get the larger roll, and then you may have some left over for a future project, which is how I got this for free this time. So for the tunnel itself, all I had to buy was the PEX piping and the staples. Puts me at $20. Adding in the door bumped me up to almost $30. If I were to buy another 50-foot roll of chicken wire to do this, it would have put me up to $70, which is a big bump. That's why I always recommend look for what you have. I am a total minimalist on the inside of my house and total maximalist in my outdoor areas. If I find lumber or fencing or pieces of hardware cloth, zip ties, screws, anything I can find, I will keep, always. So my total cost for just the tunnel was $20. Adding in the door cost me another $10, putting up to $30. If I would have had to go buy another 50-foot roll of chicken wire, that would have put me up to $70. That's why I always recommend to keep anything that you can. If you can buy things in larger quantities to make them cheaper per unit so that you can then save them for later projects, that can always help out if you can afford to do that. But also anything you can find and get for free or keep from anywhere. When I first bought my house, I had to get some work done in the basement, and the contractors had a bunch of leftover 6x6s that were 5-6 feet long. I told them, please do not clean up, leave everything here. I did, and now I've had so many 6x6s to do things for, and today 6x6s cost a lot more than they did 2 years ago. So moral of the story is be a minimalist inside your house, but a maximalist in your garage or your barn or your shed or wherever you keep crap that you can't put inside your house. If you're doing projects, it's gonna save you money later. I hope this was helpful for somebody out there. If it was helpful for you, please hit the like button for me and let me know if there's anything you have done differently or anything that could help anybody else during this project. I would love it if you would subscribe if we can keep hanging out, and if you want to see what I'm doing on a more daily basis, I'll put my Instagram in the description below for you. Thanks for watching.